Okay. Let me say thank you, ladies, for being with us on tonight and being with me on tonight for this is a segment of Behind Closed Doors, and it speaks about domestic violence and the survivors. Every lady that you see here tonight is a survivor, including myself.
Yes.
Thank God we are survivors.
Amen.
So tonight, I'm going to be asking some questions for these young ladies, and we're going to share about our lives behind closed doors and dealing with domestic violence. The reason I said life behind closed doors is because when you're dealing with a domestic violence situation, when the doors open up for the public in the world, we become actors and we become performers. But behind closed doors, it's a total different life, a life of survival. So my first question to each one of these ladies, and they can go around the clock, is how long did it take you for your domestic violence to begin, Sabrina?
It took me 1 month for my domestic violence to begin. 1 month after I moved in with my abuser. 1 month, 30 days.
30 days.
And it started off with a push, just a push. And of course, gradually it went to something else. But it always starts out with a push, maybe a slap, or maybe verbal abuse. And that's how long it took me. 1 month.
In my case, it was 1 year. 1 year, and it was a punch. And I'm sorry. I'll never hit you again. Which hits after hits. But doing all the time, I'm thinking this person loved me. They don't mean something is wrong, but they don't mean what they're doing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
So it was 1 year for you. For me, it was a year and a half after marriage. It happened after marriage, after I became his possession, his total possession.
Exactly.
Then it's when it started. Tara, how long for you?
2 years.
2 years.
It started after his father died.
Okay. So with you saying 2 years after his father died, it's almost like you making that an excuse for him. It can sound like that to some people, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it could sound like an excuse, but it wasn't an excuse because he never did it until his father died.
Father died. So he basically was taking his anger out on you?
Yes.
If that's what you said? Okay.
Yes.
All right. At any point, did you fear for your life? At one point, did you fear for your life, Sabrina?
I feared for my life several times, each time I was beaten. However, my abuser was a gun collector.
Oh, wow.
So I was threatened numerous times. He used to play Russian roulette.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I feared my life a lot. Yeah, I did, a lot. So, I was in fear every single day of the 17-year relationship.
Not at first. It wasn't, that I was scared at first. No, it wasn't like that. Later in the years, because we had been together, he went away for a while, and he was good. He was good to me, but little did I know, for me, it seems like when he got angry somewhere else, he came back and took it out on me.
No.
I didn't fear, but this one particular time, I feared. And he told me, I'm going to kill you. He said, you might as well start praying now. Well, I was praying all the time. But I always felt that I was covered. That my faith in God, what was gonna sustain me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I always felt that maybe it's not me. I was like confused. You don't know where to turn. That one particular time, I really was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really was scared. And I had to let somebody know.
So you did tell somebody that you were scared.
I told
Okay.
somebody.
Okay. Tell.
I feared for my life 3 times when he threatened to kill me. And the 3rd time he actually acted upon it because I saw the fear in his eyes. And I have a scar to prove what he said, what he tried to do.
For me, it was one night when he said, okay, let's go to the beach, because we had already had an issue, a scene that week. So I was thinking, okay, we're going to the beach. We're going to make it a good day. Good night. We got into the car and we went over to the beach over on 79th Causeway, across the hill, you know, where you go on. And when we got there, he pulled into the sand. Got out, opened the door of the car, and pulled me out by my hair and started dragging me down the sand. Dragging me and asking me who was this man, who was that man, who was this man, who was that man. And I was like, what is going on? And I literally thought he was going to lead me out there to that beach dead. But then after he took 30 minutes of that ranting and raving and whatever, got back in the car, got right there on 79th Street in Biscayne, and the light was red on our side. The light was green going to the south. This man pulled out in front of oncoming cars and stopped right in the middle of the intersection with the cars coming and said, I'll let them kill you right in this car. I'll smash your side. I won't nothing happen to me, and I'll jump out. And I looked at him with fear in my eyes. And the car that was coming like scurried and was making all kind of sound, all kind of noise. And then after that happened, he drove off and then took my wig, and he knew it was on my head tight. And he snatched it clean off and threw it out the window. And I went home just crying. And then my head was being banged against the passenger window like this here. He steady banging my head against the passenger window. Got to the house and got out, pulled the car up in and got out. That night, I feared for my life. Because he was asking me about people that I'm like, look, I don't even want them, and I don't think they want what we want different things. So that was my night of fear. That was my night of fear. Did you fight back during any situation, Terrell?
Yes, one incident I fought him back. I finally got the courage to hit him back, to make him feel the pain that he was causing me. And when I did that, it made the beatings worse. It got so bad, I had to cover black eyes, hiding in class, because he knew every class that I had, and it got really bad after that. Really bad.
I fought back. As a matter of fact, I went to his mama's house and jumped on him. Wow. This particular night, you leave and you go to your mom's house, and it was some things that was, you know, and I'm like, and my friend girl said to me, she said, Connie, don't go. She said, there's something that's finna happen, don't go. But I went anyway. And he came to the door in the house coat. So did the girl.
In the girl's household.
No,
In his mama household.
in his household.
Oh, okay.
And the girl came, she was hiding behind the door.
Oh.
And I fired on him. With everything I got. And I'll never forget him saying that he thought a man had reached around me and swung on him.
My man. Sabrina,
I
did you
never,
ever fight?
because my abuser was 6'6" and 300 pounds.
Oh no, you couldn't.
No.
You couldn't fight that. Oh God, no.
I tried it one time in a car, and he beat the crap out of me because I couldn't beat him. He was too big.
Too big.
Too big. I never ever tried to fight him back. 17 years. One time I tried and stayed with him after that incident. Yeah, because you got to remember that when abusers abuse you, they're actors. So the making up, as crazy as this may sound,
Yes,
the making
that's
up,
right.
Yeah.
they can get an Emmy Award for
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
crying, baby, they crying. It's a movie. It's a movie.
It's a
Trust
movie.
me, it's a movie.
And one of the things they say, you made me do that. How caused you to put your hand on me?
Because they put you in an identity that you eventually start to think you're that person.
Yeah.
You know, you have no self-esteem. They snatch that from you.
That was,
Exactly. Exactly.
for me, I think that one of the things I say they do is they pull all your strength,
Oh, yeah.
they pull all your courage, they belittle you
Oh, yeah.
so that you can feel so bad you ain't even got strength.
That's right.
And it seems like I'm lost, nobody cares, nobody loves me, and they want you to feel like nobody loves you but them.
But them.
That's right.
To control you.
That's right.
And if your
But them.
self-esteem is gone, you're going to believe that.
You gonna believe that.
You start walking on eggshells, saying that nobody wants me like this reason.
That's right.
He's the only one that wants me, and you have no self-esteem. So of course he's in control.
Control.
Exactly, he's in control. All about control.
The day that I tried to fight back, that cost me. That cost me a busted eardrum.
That's right.
Cause they came. What happened was that Thursday night, the church had to go out, and my nephew didn't show up to play the drums. So I had to play. And I played. But my routine was, whatever you do in church, whatever go on in church, you come home and you tell me. You let me know. Because that's a form of control.
Of course.
And if I had to go sing somewhere, my name better be on the program.
Oh, yeah.
And the program better be on the kitchen table.
Wow.
I better to show that that's where I went and that's where I was, especially if they did not go. So when they came home that Friday afternoon, they asked, what happened at church last night? I said, I told you. I told you what the message was. I told you what Pastor preached. No, you didn't. What happened? I don't know who that little bird was that was telling him everything. He said, I'm going to ask you one more time. What happened at church last night? I said, I told you. I'm in the kitchen and I got a knife in my hand because I'm cutting up some chicken. And he stood over me. And I'm looking like this here. I'm like, I told you. He's standing in my face. I'm going to ask you one more. Yeah, you know. Oh, you think, and I did the knife like this, and I stood it up with the point up. Oh, you gonna put that knife in me? You better put it in me. And they hauled off, he hit me. And I swung at him with the knife. And when I swung him with the knife, when I came to and awakened, I was up under the kitchen table. And I was clearly not in the kitchen. Because he had done beat me all the way out the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
To the kitchen table, up under the kitchen table. And when I came to, I was up under the kitchen table, and his feet was over my face. He said, I ought to stump you to death. And he was like, I'm going to ask you one more time, what did you do? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You played the drums and didn't tell me you played the drums.
Yeah, you let that out.
I left that out.
All the way to the point, you know, I was like trying to figure out if you leave something out, why you so busy when you could have came and sat there and watched me.
Oh no.
Yeah, but see, that was another part of fear that I had to deal with too when they would come. Because when they would come, then they watching everybody else.
Yeah.
And they watching what's going on. And why was he in your face? Or what he had. Listen, they even accused me of my pastor.
That's right.
And I'm like, I don't want my pastor. You know, and they accused me of her best friend.
I went through all
And I'm like,
So did I.
what are you talking about? Him and I been friends and family for a long time, for years. We just like that. We cool. We cool. And then people would say, oh, I hope you taking care of her. What about her taking care of me? She a good woman. I'm a good man.
all that be their insecurities. They be really, really insecure. And all that I find out that all those things, like they're insecure, they blame you for this and they blame you for that. But those are all their formalities. That's what's wrong with them. Right. And they want to put it on you, okay, because they see all the goodness.
Let me say this, it's only two ways out of a domestic violence situation, two that I know of. Death, or you get out. That's it. Yeah. Death, or you get out. You die in it, or you leave. That's the only way.
And my mom used to always say,
that's it.
It's like she knew, she would say, ease your hand out the lion's mouth.
Slowly.
And and I kept praying and kept praying and I kept praying and I kept praying. And it looks like there would be certain songs that would come out. You know, like certain songs come out. And it was this song, one of the songs was like, I'm gonna get over you. One day I'm gonna be gone. Gone.
Listen, when you talk about songs, that week when I finally got out, Mary came out with a song, It Is Well. When I tell you the entire time I would sing that song, It Is Well, I sung it the entire week. I could still see myself walking to my car that Friday, crying, It Is Well. And that Sunday at 1:42 a.m. is when it all took place. But I can still literally see myself singing that song, It Is Well. It Is Well. Because that was one of the songs. Now, according to them, what was one main reason they would start the domestic violence?
Oh boy. 9 times out of 10, they're cheating. They need to beat you getting angry so they can go do what they want to do. They leave you home bruised up and battered and they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they have to do something to get angry, to use an excuse to get out of the house. If you guys live together, out of the house, or if you don't, he needs to get you upset and get mad to leave that situation to go to somebody else who he's probably not abusing.
That's right. How would he start with you, Tara?
He would come in, of course, and be nice, give me a kiss. 5 minutes later, he'll go up the stairs, come back down, and all of a sudden, he's mad about something. Oh, well, you want to wear your hair like that? And just hit me right in the face. I don't like that. Do something else. And he just went on his rampage. I go in the bathroom, clean my face up, do something else with my hair, and apparently he was okay with it. If I wanted to go out somewhere he'd start something in so I wouldn't go to make me stay with him because he didn't want me to leave because he felt like I was going to meet somebody or be with somebody because he always wanted to be with me and under me. So he would start anything he could
That was
to keep me
control.
home. Yes.
A part of control and to isolate you
Yes. That's
from all your family and friends, to
Yeah.
isolate you from your sisters and what have you.
Yes.
And when you're in a domestic situation, I don't know about any of you all, but for me, I would be church, home, work, because I don't even feel like listening to. I don't want to hear it. Just let me just go church, work, home. Then he know I'm here. I'm not out anywhere. Then I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to hear it. But yet still, he would argue, fuss, just like you say, and then he'll be gone.
Of course.
And then take my car.
Of course.
And take his keys to his car. And then, I mean, you know, I don't want to tell everything that I'm writing in my book, you know, because I am doing a book. And the title of the book is going to be The Hidden Rage. Because he hid it for a year and a half. He hid it. So I would not do anything. Work, home, church, that's it.
That's it.
Just to keep down confusion, to keep down fuss. When I tell you I was so tired of hearing arguing, that's why now I can't stand to hear anything that's about to sound like an argument. I'd be like, okay, shut that down. I don't want to hear that. Because it eats at my nerves. Like I can't do it. I can't hear it. Let me walk away. I don't want to hear it.
For me, you know, a lot of times I was in church and I would come home from church, or, you know, during the times I used to go to a lot of singers where you were at. And that was to keep me from being home because I was scared to go home.
Oh, yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And when I did go home, there it is. You know, there were several times I came home, it come up out of nowhere like a ghost.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Slam the door.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wind up getting, mine was so bad that I wind up getting a therapist, psychiatrist. Little did I know I had been traumatized because he had kicked my door in so many times that when I'm asleep, I'm jumping. One of our family reunions in Chicago, one of my cousins slept in the room with me. And she was in my bed. And she said to me, Cousin Connie, why do you always jump? But I was traumatized. And I was hearing that door being kicked in, kicked in, kicked in. He jumped on me one Sunday. Went to Friendship, came back, jumped on me. I literally was shaking so bad that I got up. I just needed to get away. I went to Corinth, sat in the office with the pastor and his wife, boo-hoo crying. I can't go back there. My own house, I couldn't go back to. So I went to my brother's house. And I stayed with my brother. And my brother, instead of him taking my keys, he went there and kicked in the door. Found a whole bunch of people in my house. You know,
I'm surprised that you say that he had a bunch of people in your house, because the fact of the matter is that they really don't want a lot of people around you.
they were his
So you can
friends.
tell. But
Not nobody I knew.
but yet it's still they
My
kind of
group.
like.
Isolate you.
So I isolate you from
Yeah.
everybody.
He isolated me from my friends and my family. But his friends, they only, listen, they know what they tell.
Right.
Everybody thought that was his car. That was his house.
Right.
Everything was his.
Yes, Lord.
And I mean, one day I literally walked up and this girl said to me, she said, I know him. I told him, why you do her like that? She's such a nice lady. Why do you do her like that? Everybody knew what was going on but me. Here I am.
That's the way it is.
And then my mom, I'll never forget what my mom said to me. My mom said, never feel sorry for yourself. And I started really praying and reaching out to God.
Yeah.
I started praying and reaching out to God so hard because I didn't deserve this.
None of us did, but at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I allowed it.
I allowed it. And
You allowed
you know,
that to happen.
and this is some of the things I said. I said,
Right.
do you realize I allowed some of these things to happen?
Because one thing for a fact, and I look at for myself, is that when you go through this and you know what's happening, you have to go back and look at, okay, if I would have did it this way, if I would have did it that way. Now, if I had to stay focused on what I should have stayed focused on, I wouldn't have been in that particular mess. Now, I have an aunt that literally said to me, she said, Elaine, you know you had no business being in that. You just was tired of the fact that you weren't getting penis.
Wow.
Amen.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. And when she said that, when I tell you that thing jolted my spirit, I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you were tired of being by yourself and not having a man because you know what the words say. So you figured I'd just take the next big thing that was coming. You was tired of being alone.
Now, the thing that I was saying about the lust,
So it was a lust thing. It was a lust situation. When I know that I should, now one thing they did do, they performed to know that, okay, they knew God. They performed. Oh my God, there was a performer. But they really didn't. They really didn't know God like they should. They really didn't know God. And I'm gonna ask this question. It's not one of my questions, but let me ask you this. Let me ask you, ladies, this: how did they treat their mothers?
Oh, that's important.
Because that's important. Sabrina, how did he treat his mom? Was that a sign? You know.
See, I was so young. My abuser and I, we were like the little boyfriend and girlfriend in junior high school. So we grew up together. We went to the same elementary school, same junior high school. So you know how you think you got all the sense in the world, when you think you're grown, you want a boyfriend, and your mama tell you get your studies in. No, I want to know. He was the biggest thing in the school. It was a private school, so I had this boyfriend, so I was like, pay the bill in the school. So I really didn't see how he treated his mom until after I finished high school. He was still my boyfriend through high school. Elementary, junior, but you know, 6th grade, whatever. So when I got to Central, senior high school, I'm like, oh, he's a little bit disrespectful to his mom. But you don't see all that. You see it, but you don't want to see it.
Right.
Okay? So I'm like, oh, he's kind of rude to his mom. 9 times out of 10, most of the abusers, they've seen abuse in their house somewhere.
Yes.
It's pathology.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So they bring it to your relationship or their relationship.
Because they think
That's
it's
all they know.
Right.
It's normal for them to see daddy hit mommy. It's normal. Mama covered up. Mama put makeup on to cover her bruises. But my story is I never had a bruise until the end. So you would see me looking just as good as I look now and not knowing when I go home, I'm really beaten. Because I never had a black eye. I never had a broken. Never. You see? So it's, you know.
Tara, did you ever notice the way that he would treat his mom?
Yes, I did. And I always used to confront him about it. And asked him why did he treat his mother like that when she was such a good person, you know, to him, or whether she did the best she could for him.
Right.
And always gave him. But he had this rage in him. You used to see his eyes get like red almost. Even when he talked to his mom, he was so aggressive even with her. His attitude was so horrible. And I'm like, wow, you treat your mom like that. I see why you treat me that way. And then I also got passed down because of his dad. His dad used to talk to his mama any kind of way, treat her any kind of way, used to abuse her. So I'm like, wow, this is where it come from. Yes.
That's all he knew.
Yes, like behavior.
You know, that's something that I noticed because with now, it was kind of tricky because his mom, he loved her.
Same
But
way.
he loved her, but the way he would talk to his daughter and his sisters,
Come on now.
I'm like, okay, don't talk to your daughter like that. Don't talk to you. And then when one day he told me, he was like, my daughter said something to his sister, I'm sorry, said something to his mom, and he knocked her down on the ground. And I was like, oh my God, did you really? But he didn't start that with me. That had not started. But he worshiped the ground his mom walked on, and he made sure she was okay. He would talk hard, like, oh my mom, I'm not gonna. But then I asked her one day, I'm like, his father ever do this? And she was like, oh yeah, honey, just as calm. Oh yeah, honey, I had to pull a gun on his daddy one day. In order for him to stop, I had to shoot down the hallway at him.
Wow.
So it was a pattern from
The beginning.
from the beginning. And I often say that the head, however the head is, it'll trickle on down
Right. Oh yeah.
That's right.
to the rest of everybody
Yes,
else.
yes.
It'll trickle on down. So
He was the same way. He loved it, the ground his mama walked on. He worshipped his mom. But there was also some undercover stuff that I didn't know about.
Of course. Right.
You understand?
Of course. Of course.
He would, like, his aunt was raising him, and his mom came and got him. And what I gathered was that he resented her in some way. And I never forget me saying to him, if you're so angry with your mom, why don't you go to the graveyard, write her a letter and give it to her, or tell her how you feel, even though she's not gonna answer. But you need to get this
release
over.
that.
Release this so that you can get better.
Yeah, need to release it.
I mean, he was my
He didn't do
mom,
it right.
my
He didn't do
mom.
it. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
They don't think anything wrong with them.
That's
No.
No.
No. It's us.
There's
It's us.
to
But a
them
lot
it's
of it
nothing
was-
wrong with them.
No.
It's always somebody else
Oh, yeah.
made
But
them do it.
the grandmother, and I was very close. You know what the grandmother told me? That his grandfather was that way with her.
It usually is.
Okay.
She said, and she would see him,
Right. That's right.
and he looked just like the grandfather. She said, Connie, all you need to do is, she told me, get you a black skillet and bust him in his head.
So let me ask this: Did you ever try to tell someone that you were going through a domestic situation?
I didn't. I hid mine. I never told, hey, I'm being abused. Because I was embarrassed.
Right.
I was shamed. And I didn't want to share that. I was embarrassed. Because you got to remember, domestic violence is like cancer.
Yeah.
It spreads.
It spreads. It affects everybody in your family. Look at us. It affects everybody. You know, it affected my mom to see her child sad, depressed all the time. You know, it affected my dad, not being able to do anything, but not really knowing, but they knew something was wrong.
Right.
So it's like
So
cancer.
Tara, what about you?
I did the same thing Sabrina did. I hid it because I was ashamed and embarrassed, and I didn't want anyone to know.
Right.
I hid mine because of who I was. Because of Elaine Nelson, the singer, the preacher, the recording artist, the this, the that, the that. So I hid it. I hid it from my parents. I hid it from everybody. because I did not want anybody to know that that is what I was going through. Now, I had a sister to come with my brother and her husband trying to do intervention because she figured that something was going on. But her husband told her, he said, if I knew this what you was coming here for, I would not have came. He said, because she not going to leave. And I looked at him and said, I'm not going anywhere. It was going on, but I told her I wasn't going anywhere. The reason I said I wasn't going anywhere because if I would have left the way they wanted me to leave, it would have been detrimental to me because I know that I tried to leave. And that caused my arm to be twisted,
Yes,
you know, broken tooth because the shoebox went flying across the room. You know, so I could not leave the way they wanted me to leave. I had to build, and let's talk about that. I had to build a strategy. I had to say, okay, God, first of all, I apologize to you for even being in this. Forgive me, Lord. Then I had to forgive myself.
True.
For even being in that situation. So then once I started doing that, God helped me to build a way to get up out of this. And once I started keeping my prayer life going, building a way of how to get out of this, and then I said, okay, God, because we were in one location, and I told God, I said, okay, he want to move? All right, we got to move. When we move to here, this is what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to have another domestic situation. He's not going to put his hands on me anymore. God, when he start, I'm gone. I am gone. We lived in the new place for about 2 months. It was fine. I was walking on eggshells. I guess he was walking on eggshells or whatever, and nothing was happening. But that weekend, and that Sunday, all I said was, your mama needs you to come to the house and take some paint out the shed. And all hell broke loose that night. But what happened will be in the book. So, right quickly and briefly, and then we're going to wrap up because there will be another segment to this. And I want to say to any other women that feel free to tell your story, reach out to me. You could tell your story, and that would be fine. So Sabrina, look into the camera, and please tell them what you can share of a way to encourage them to get out.
You have to pray. You have to have a relationship with God. You have to pray. You must have a relationship with God. You must have a strategy to get out, and you must leave. Once you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being known, you will leave.
You must pray. You must build a relationship with God. That's a must. You must have faith and believe that and trust that God will bring you out. You have to ease your hand out of the lion's mouth slowly.
Yes.
God is on your side. He's going to give you favor. You have favor. Once you get out of the situation, don't go back. They will try to tell you differently. Believe and trust that you can make it.
Right.
Know that you can make it.
Right.
You're gonna make it.
I encourage you, young women, young men, whoever's going through, that when it's time for you to get out, leave. God, don't ignore the warning signs. He always give you warning signs when a person is abusing you. But what you don't do what I did. Don't stay even though you saw the warning signs.
Right.
The strategy when it's time to come out, what you do is watch until they leave. Watch their pattern, watch their daily routine. And once you get that packed down, that's when you know when it's time to go. That's your way of escape.
I love it. Love it.
That's the encouragement I would give you.
Yes. I'm going to close with this, and I'm going to say to you, I'm going to piggyback on what all the ladies have said. Prayer is the key. One thing that the abuser will do, try to make you think that your prayer won't work.
Right. That's right.
Because that's what mine did. Mine literally said, oh, you gonna pray to God? You better pray. And I continued to pray to God.
Right.
Pray, get a plan, and leave. Don't let them know what your plan is. Continue to do the same thing that you've always done. Don't change your patterns, because they know when you change your patterns. Keep the same pattern, but build a strategy. And I'll say to you, if you have one person that you can trust
That's right.
to tell what's going on, that if I call you in the middle of the night to come get me, come get me, because I'm leaving.
Right.
We love you. We come to share with you, male or female, that's dealing with this situation. Don't stay silent.
Right.
Speak. Tell it. Get out. You can live. God loves you. Peace. And as I often say, stay up, not down. Bless you. We love you.